Motor Learning, a PowerPoint created by Louisa Vicini. So what is motor learning? Motor learning is the study of the different processes that are involved in obtaining and refining skills. Now looking at this motor skill of a basketball free throw, so a basketball free throw is a closed skill as you have a beginning, a middle and an end to the skill. Here, as you can see, I asked Max to carry out the skill in the way he thinks it should be done. So if we have a look at the video, and then there's a slow motion video. Max has played basketball before, but not very competitively. So he's played at college and with his friends. So he's never followed the rules properly. So he has heard of the free throw, but he hasn't had to do it for himself. This means that I'm able to coach him in the way it should be done, and I can show him, and he's going to be learning from the start so he doesn't have any bad habits. This also means that Max is in the cognitive stage of learning, which is the first stage out of 3. The cognitive stage is where you're new to the activity and is where you begin to find out what the stages of the skill you're learning are, meaning that you break down each stage of the skill and go over and over again with feedback from a coach, which in this case, I'm the coach. As I said above, here I gave no prompt to Max on how it should be done. He showed me what he thought was right. As you can see, there are both positive and negative feedback to be given to the demonstration of the skill. You can clearly see that Max understands what a free throw is and knows where he has to stand to carry out the free throw. As you can see, he stood here. He stood behind the line where he should be stood. Another positive outcome is that Max knows that he needs to bend his knees to be able to throw the ball. So you can see that he's bending his knees right here. He releases the ball. And he also knows that his non-shooting hand has to support the ball so the ball doesn't roll over to the side. Really see, but his hand is supporting the ball on the other side, right here. However, look at the cons. Max's feet are not positioned how they should be. Sideways, as I have put the arrow right here. When you are carrying out a free throw, your feet should be facing forward like this position here, and shoulder width apart. You can also see that Max doesn't have a starting routine from the video. So if we go back to the video, you can see that Max does not have a starting routine. So a starting routine is where you allow yourself a couple of seconds to concentrate on what you're doing before you throw the ball. This may be that you're carrying out a certain, for example, you bounce the ball a couple of times, you rotate the ball on your hand, just so you can concentrate on the outcome that is shooting the ball and get it in the hoop. Another con is the way that Max releases the ball. He doesn't follow any stages, as you can see again. He just throws the balls up. When it comes to positioning yourself with the ball, you have to make sure you bring the ball almost to your face with your shooting hand placed under the ball, almost at 90-degree angle, which I have pointed out over here. So it has to be closer to his face. It's not close enough. Also, the ball should be placed on your fingertips so you're able to roll off when you're shooting, and your non-dominant hand has to be balancing the ball on the side, which Max has done already. Also, your dominant elbow and wrist, like I have said, have to come to a close 90-degree angle, which Max is close enough, but he should tuck that wrist a little bit more under and make sure his elbow is directly under the ball. This allows him to have a control of the ball. He will have the right balance and the angle will also be right. So it means that he is most likely to get the ball in. So when you get to shoot the basketball, you should straighten your legs, which Max has done, your elbow and your shooting wrist, also has done, and hold the arm in the position until the ball is halfway to the rim. So you allow the arm to follow the ball, allowing to control the ball. So you keep control of the ball. My teachers always tell me you leave the hand in the cookie jar at the end of the ball. So if you watch the video of Max again, you can see that he quickly brings his hand down and he doesn't follow through with it. There you go. So this time round, I demonstrated to Max how a free throw should be carried out, and I showed him a step-by-step on how he should hold the ball, where he should place his feet, etc. I showed him the throwing slide with step-by-step guide on what he should do, so with pictures, so he's able to understand as well, and it allows him basically to also see me demonstrating it, see it on paper, see it by writing that what he has to do. Right. I allowed him a few times before I filmed him again, so let me show you this video. And there's a slow motion video as well. As you can see, Max has improved on the way that he stands by facing his feet forward. So you can see that instead of being side on, he's now facing his foot towards the basket. He has also brought the ball closer to his face before shooting. As you can see here, I have not put an arrow here. The ball is pretty close to his face in the position that it should be. It's nearly at that 90-degree angle. You can also see the difference in the way that he holds the ball. So the wrist here is also at a 90-degree angle. His elbow is directly under the ball. His elbow with his shoulder is also in an angle. And the ball also placed on his fingertips, as you can see right here. On the video, you can also see that he follows through at the end and does leave his hand in the cookie jar, which was one of the points that I picked out to him, showing him how to do it. Even though he does not leave it long enough, he should leave it a bit longer to make sure that the ball has gone in the direction that he wants it to go, but he has improved from the last time that he did it without any directions from anyone. So again, there is room for improvement, and he will always have room for improvement until he reaches the final learning stage, so the autonomous stage, where he will be able to perform the skill naturally and without thinking about it. Obviously, he will still make errors at that stage, but it won't be very likely. This is because he would obviously have improved on his control and also accuracy. So an improvement would be to, when bending the knees, to bend it a bit more, because he has bent it, but not enough. So if he bends it down a little bit more, he'll be able to have that more power to push it through. So he'll have more power on the legs, meaning you're able to balance yourself better and throw the ball more accurately. So another improvement would be that, again, he doesn't do a starting routine. He goes straight into shooting, and I did pick up on that last time, and I did tell him, but he didn't do it. He goes straight in after I'll tell him to go. It's fair enough to him. He hasn't played basketball competitively before, so you can't expect him to know what he's doing. Basically, the starting routine, again, is that it's all about letting yourself concentrate and giving yourself time on what you need to do. So if he concentrates, he's able to focus on what he's doing. He's able to get that ball in. So if you were to do that, if he was to concentrate, he'd find that his shots would become more accurate as he's focusing on the outcome of the skill more than what the skill is actually about. So he's focusing on the outcome and not what the skill is. and also the people around him. He won't be focusing on what I'm telling him, or if he's playing an actual game, he won't be focusing on the players. He will be focusing on what he needs to get done. So overall, you can clearly see that by coaching Max and showing him the step-by-step tutorials on how to carry out a free throw, it has allowed him to improve. Obviously, this is nowhere near as good as I want him to be, but we did do this I'd say half an hour apart. I gave him a few moments to practice before I filmed him again. And to be fair to him, he tried his best and he has improved a lot more from the first time that he did carry it out. So for me, I'm quite happy with the development. So the base of this understanding that he has now gained will allow him to develop to the next learning stage, which is the associative stage. So this is where Max's ability and experiences will determine how long he needs to practice. And from what I know from Max, he will get on with it and he will practice as much as he can to get that skill right. So by repeating the skill, Max will become a lot more consistent, and again, he'll have fewer errors because he knows exactly what he's doing. So thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it, and also that you have more of an insight on how a basketball free throw should be done.